What's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus, and today we're gonna start out with a video that was pretty popular on my channel, and this is the continuation of it. We're gonna talk about how to pronounce the names in Frieren, and I thought I'd just make a little bit of a video about the Frieren names and how to pronounce them in the second half of the show, of the first season of the show. Hopefully there will be a second one. The way it's been going, I don't doubt it. We'll start out with a couple of names that have come up in between arcs, or like in the last couple of arcs, not the current arc, and that I haven't gotten to in my first video. It's only actually two. One of them is Foll, Old Man Foll, who which means full as a translation, and it's pronounced Foll. And then we do have 𝐸𝐲𝐬𝐶, who is Stark's brother, and I do assume that he's probably gonna be coming up in season 2. I doubt he's gonna come up in this season, since we have the Mage exam and all that hype shit going on here, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna show up at some point in time, and then the name 𝐸𝐲𝐬𝐶 will definitely be important. Very important for the ST. You speak it like the SCH in German is spoken, and then you almost swallow the T at the end to just say ts, right? 𝐸𝐲𝐬𝐶. The T set is almost spoken like a set alone. Then we're going on to the current arc, which is the Mage exam arc, and we are going to look into the first exam phase. The team that Frieren got teamed up with in the first Mage exam, the two individuals in that, the two girls, are called 𝐏𝐢𝐏 and 𝐈𝐦𝐩𝐿. 𝐏𝐢𝐏 means as much as pot, right? A teapot or something along those lines, a kettle. And 𝐈𝐦𝐩𝐿 means avalanche, right? We have 𝐏𝐢𝐏 and 𝐈𝐦𝐩𝐿. Right, and then we are moving on to the next group, which is the group that Fen was actually part of, and her teammates were called Land and 𝐸𝐴𝐿. Land and 𝐸𝐴𝐿. Very important for Land. It's very straightforward, it means land, right? It can also mean nation in a sense. 𝐸𝐴𝐿 is a fan favorite character. People really love her, and she has a very interesting name because it's actually using one of the letters that are almost exclusive to the German language. There's a couple other languages that use it, but the Ü, which is kind of a modified U, is being used as such. I did hear that Fan's voice actor actually, or voice actress actually pronounced 𝐸𝐴𝐿 𝐸𝐵L, which is not entirely correct. She did a very good job of it otherwise, but it's called 𝐸𝐵L, right? Then we do have the team that Fan and her team actually went up against, which is the team of Wirbel, Ehre, and Schaf. We do start out with Wirbel, who means as much as whirlwind, right? A Wirbel can be a lot of things in different contexts. It's mainly meant for like anything that has that swirling kind of shape. It can be applied to a wirbel in your hair. It can be a wirbel in the air. It's generally associated with slightly chaotic and tumultuous, but not as much as a storm or a tornado, right? To a lesser degree. We do have Ehre, which means honor. Ehre. Keep in mind the E in German is pronounced E. The H is almost silent. You do basically just do basically just take it to prolong a word oftentimes, especially if it's placed in a way that it is in Ehre's name. And then we have scharf, it's scharf, which means sharp. Can mean anything from a sharp object to a sharp mind, right? Much like it is in English. Then we do have the team that actually went up against Frieren and her team, who the leader of whom is Denken. Denken means thinking. Then we do have Laufen. Laufen means running or walking, depending on the context. So you have to be careful in which context it is used. Interestingly enough, both Denken and Laufen are words meant to describe doing something rather than a state of being, an occupation, as it is for Richter, our third party member here. Richter would be a judge, and it is pronounced Richter. Then we do go on to the first class mages, the mages that are already first class, and plus the founder of the Human Magic Association 50 years ago. We do see the two examiners, 𝐏𝐢𝐏 and 𝐶𝐸, talking to one another. 𝐏𝐢𝐏, which means precise, is the person who actually made the first exam, while 𝐶𝐸, which means scythe, very interesting how her hair, the way it is designed, and she seems to be using it, seems to be kind of leaning into that namesake. And 𝐶𝐸 is gonna be our examiner for the second exam. And then we do of course have 𝐸𝐟𝐵. I wonder if she's gonna be examining us on the third one. I'll have to wait and see. At least I have to wait and see, since I haven't seen the appropriate episodes yet. But 𝐸𝐟𝐵, which means serious, can be not serious in the sense of being serious, but serious in the sense of watching a TV series or a series of things happening. So yeah, very, very interesting. Don't know what the name means yet, but it's pronounced 𝐸𝐟𝐵. Yeah, and then we do have other characters as well. Other characters that are more on the minor side of the characters. On the one hand, we do have 𝐏𝐢𝐏, who is the chef in episode 22 when Frieren has her flashback, which I found very funny because 𝐏𝐢𝐏 means delicious. Lekker. Yeah, the CK is mostly pronounced K. And again, the E is E, and the rest is self-explanatory. We do have another team that we might have upcoming and get to know better. We do have the characters 𝐵𝐲, 𝐷𝐢𝐿, and 𝐸𝐴DL, which are one team. 𝐵𝐲 means lead. Right, we have 𝐵𝐲. Very important to note that the EI is not spoken like the IE. IE is mostly spoken like a prolonged E. No, not a prolonged E in that sense, I'm sorry. Very important distinction. In German, an I is pronounced E and an E is pronounced E. Okay, so you have a prolonged I on this pronunciation of EE, but very important to keep the distinction to the pronunciation of EI, which is pronounced I. Right? Mostly like AI in English would be pronounced. So you do have, for example, the name for an egg, which in German means Ei. Or the name for the character sign that we already had, which is not pronounced Sin or Sein, but Sein, right? I. Very important. And as such, 𝐵𝐲 is pronounced 𝐵𝐲. Then we have 𝐷𝐢𝐿. Another thing, if E is at the end of a sentence in German, it is pronounced as the E it is in German, which is E, right? Dünnste. Again, we do have the Ü, which is the modified U, which also is applicable for übel, and dünnste is spoken as such. Then we do have the last one, which is edel. Could mean as much as noble. It's very interesting that like the noble metal classes on the periodic system are as like a category called Edelmetalle, right? Because you have edel as in noble and you have Metalle as in metals. And then there's there's one additional name among the groups of people that I found very interesting, and that is Methode. Methode means method, and she is interestingly enough also shown a lot in episode 22, so I guess we probably get to know her to some degree. Right, so coming in addition, an addendum to the Methode name is her other party members. I'm actually recording this after the fact because I didn't have them on my list. We have Ton and Länge. Ton has multiple meanings, can mean as much as tone or sound, volume, right? It can also mean clay though, right, as in the building material. And then we have Länge, which is pretty straightforward. It means length. But also here, very important to note, there is the modified A, which is Ä. And that is always kind of a hiccup for many people who do not know how the letter is actually pronounced. It's pronounced Ä, so we do have Länge. There's two additional names that I do have here that I do not know the faces of. I'm just gonna use the normal thumbnail-ish background for them because I don't want to spoil myself looking for them. But I've heard those two names, saw them listed, which is, on the one hand, we do have a character named Falsch. Very interesting. Please note we do have again the SCH, which is pronounced sh. And falsch means wrong, interestingly enough. And then we do have the last character, which is called lernen, which is the adjective learning, right? Very, very curious what those characters will entail in the end. And yeah, that's been it for my how to pronounce names in Frieren. Volume 2, basically. I do hope you enjoyed it. I do hope it helped you kind of get the hang of some of these characters. I've probably missed a few that already were mentioned. I'm probably also missing a few that will be introduced in the last episodes of Frieren. I apologize for that. If you do want a super short video on how to pronounce some of those, do let me know. Other than that, I do hope you check in on my other videos. I do generally have reaction videos on my channel. I do also have various other videos planned, right? I do want to do some gaming content at some point down the line. If you're interested in that, maybe hold out an eye for that. Not anytime soon, but at least at some point. Check out my Discord. It's free to join. I do have a Discord link on my YouTube main page in my About section. Check out the Patreon, see if there's anything in it for you. At the moment, we're doing Made in Abyss, we're doing Frieren, and we are doing 𝐏𝐢𝐏 𝐬𝐭, but there's other things coming. For example, we do have a poll going on for what's going to replace Made in Abyss, which is going to end soon. There's going to be maybe something interesting in there for you guys. There's also something that's going to replace Frieren at some point. I don't know when exactly, but it's going to be there at some point. We'll see how the schedule will work out on that. Other than that, I would appreciate if you give me a like if this video helped you, if you enjoyed it to some degree, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. So I'll see you next time.